G'day everyone, SGD here, and today I'm here to both open and review Transformers Legacy United Beast Wars Universe Silverbolt, the toy line with so many sublines, sublines within sublines within sublines. I heard you like sublines, so I put sublines in your sublines. So Beast Wars Silverbolt is our first Beast Wars character from Season 2, the season that brought us Fusors and Transmetals. So far from the leaks, we know that he's our only Season 2 character. No Quick Strike, no Transmetal 2s, sorry, normal Transmetals, but we don't have any other Transmetal 2s other than the two Ultra Class that we got redone in Megatron and Tigerhawk. This toy, I don't know how I feel about. I'm happy to have a new Silverbolt to go with the new Beast Wars cast and the new Transformers form factor. But it looks like it's a case of reinventing the wheel for the sake of reinventing the wheel instead of taking a toy that was perfectly functional, played really well, looked great, and just touching it up a bit, which is all it really needed. If you're familiar with the YouTuber Perspective End, he seemed to really dislike this toy. We'll see how we go. As we see with the artwork, there's mechanical detailing in the wings, which I don't recall the original having, but it's kind of like the buttons on the original to make the missiles fire, which are still there, that they're now just the sword function they had in the cartoon. I don't recall if the toy packaging and manual for the original said to use those missiles as swords as the cartoon did. On the side, we have a nice picture of Silverbolt. I really like this artwork. It's nice and detailed and furry, and I think that's what Beast Wars was originally going for with the detailed fur and textures, but technology couldn't do it at the time. But that looks really nice. It's really evocative of the original card art, quite like that. On the other side, if we don't tip it over, we have cross-sell kind of for Transformers Legacy United and 40 years of Transformers. I think this year's been at least a little bit better than Throwing 30s. Wasn't terribly fussed on Throwing 30s as a line. As far as the characters we can see here, the only one left that I want to get that I don't currently have is Magmatron. Hoping to get him next time Amazon has a sale on him. I couldn't pull the trigger this week when they did, but hopefully. And on the back, we have Silverbolt in both modes. Yeah, that wolf doesn't look as convincing as the original. Also, the robot mode, as we can see from the front, has faux hinges, because, again, they completely reinvented the wheel. But let's get this guy open. I'll have a little play with him. Then I'll tell you my opinions. And here we have Transformers Legacy United Beast Wars Silverbolt. This one I have very mixed opinions on. Looks the part, looks great. Beast mode's got some proportions issues. This mode has some proportions issues. But for the most part, it looks like Silverbolt. It's dead on. And it's brutally simple to transform. I'm not going to point any punches there. You don't need instructions. It's really obvious just from looking at it and holding it. The paintwork's nice enough. There's some nice fading on the wings. It's got all the paint where it needs it. Nothing really feels like it was spared. Every problem this toy has is to do with, not budget, but reinventing the wheel where it didn't need to be done. This is actually the main thing I have with the robot mode. The wings sit too far on the back. They're too low, and from the front, it just doesn't look right. Like they should be on the shoulder blades, not where they are, in the middle of the back. It makes it look less like functional wings, which they are in robot mode, but more like vestigial remnants of the beast mode. Articulation's standard, but it's nice, even though the knees are a bit strange. We'll get into that in a sec, but I just want to just sit here and appreciate the beast mode, sorry, the robot mode, looks the part, looks good on, I think it'll look good on a shelf, look perfectly fine with Black Arachnia, though she's pretty small. I don't have her on hand, but I'd imagine she'd be a bit short compared to this, but I think she only got up to his chest or so in robot mode anyway. In terms of scale, here he is next to Legacy Inferno and Studio Series 86 Hot Rod. As you can see, he's a fairly standard size for a current Voyager. I've seen comparison shots. He's a fair sight bigger than the original toy too. Silverbolt comes with two accessories. Those are these swords that were originally missiles on the original toy. These will tuck on the wings to just flow into the beast mode, and they look very conspicuous. They don't look like anything sticking out of the wings. They just sit and they look the part. They're fine. In terms of articulation, the head is on a ball joint. It doesn't go up or down really at all, but it can turn side to side. It's quite tight. Don't recommend forcing it too much. The arms are on a universal joint, so they go all the way around and all the way out to the side. Maximum there. Arms are on a double joint, so this one needs a bit of a click to get it to 90 degrees, but you can force it into transformation to get a full double joint out of there. You will make the wolf leg come down. Swivel on the wrist. While you have to flip up the tail to access it, he does have a waist joint. It's quite tight on mine and can go a full 360. Legs kick back that far and front this far. Pretty much a full range if you actually need it. You can get up some really high kicks. Also, maximum spread. Actually past maximum. It goes beyond. That looks painful. The skirt goes up if you need it. Swivel at the thigh. Knees move a full range both ways, but there is a click in the middle and it is quite the tight one. Don't recommend forcing it too much. Ankles are on rockers, move side to side and back and forth, only a little bit forward. And you have 5mm points under the feet for whatever reason that may be. I think we've nearly given up on that gimmick. So let's get Silverbolt transformed. We start by pushing up the head. That needs to go all the way so that we have the clearance to pull out the backpack and the wolf head. We then want to rotate this 180 degrees, pull the wolf head upwards, push it in, we'll push in there, push this in the bottom. Now there's some pegs here on the bottom of the wolf head and some holes in the main body. Push that in. You can also open the mouth there. Now we want to push the robot head inside of the cavity we just made and pull down the tail. We might not want to pull it all the way in. You can sit pegs in. So get the arms down, push the forearms into the thighs of the wolf and bring down the legs for the wolf. Do this on both sides. Now this part is considerably different to the original toy, where we want to pull these this way, then this way. Probably keep your thumb here so you don't strain this plastic here and there. Now we close this up at the back using these two pegs to clip together. This clips here, and now we just fix everything up. Pull that down, swivel these around. There's actually a little peg there that will go into the forearm of the, the upper arm of the wolf mode. Pull those all down. I'm not really keen on the fact that it gives you directions on where the wolf mode legs go, but that's basically it. And here you have Transformers Legacy United Beast Wars Silverbolt in beast mode. And this is where the proportion thing really comes into play. The whole back section of the wolf eagle mode is yeah, the bird mode ends before the robot mode, well, I should say the wolf mode's bum ends, and it just looks off. It's a very similar tail issue to what Tigerhawk had, but not the same way. The Tigerhawk, the tail feathers, I should say, didn't stay down. This one, they just end prematurely. It feels like there needed to be more budget there to make sure that this whole section could be longer. It just looks strange. It's an uncomfortable look. The rest of the toy are the fist being in the back of the thighs. That's to the original toy too. It did the exact same thing. That's not a concern. I'm not really fussed on the whole telling you to keep the wolf mode legs there with this peg and hole system. I think that's a bit unnecessary. The wings do fold up quite nicely, as you can either have them go down like that, which is good for storage purposes, or you can fold them on the double hinge that's in the wings to keep them about there, so that they look like they are primed for flight, which is also a nice way of packing it up if you need it on a shelf in beast mode, but don't want the wings taking up the massive space they have. Although I'm not really sure why the double hinge there coming from the Air Razor toy, which I think is a bit underappreciated now thanks to Rise of the Beasts, the basic Air Razor being fantastic. But I don't think that was really necessary here. It doesn't do anything for transformation. Maybe it had an original different use. I don't know. But I think over time I could get past the whole weird bum section. But that needed to be cleaned up. The animal also looks kind of chubby, if you ask me, because the struts here make it look too thick. And overall, the animal looks thicker than it really should. In terms of the face, I actually like the face a lot more than Perspective End did. I think it looks reasonably menacing. I think it's appealing enough. Yes, it's probably got too much black in there. It doesn't look much like the cartoon. Again, they're going for a mix of realism and the original toy. But I think compared to some of the others where the realism has not hit the mark, like Leo Convoy, this works. Again, I don't know. It's something where I can see there's tons of flaws. It's not the way I would have personally designed it. It's not really into my design ethos in how these Beast Wars toys should be handled, but it's not offending me. It's not offending me at all. It's perfectly fine. So that's my look at Legacy United Beast Wars Universe Silverbolt. I have sounded negative this entire review, and the toy isn't without its flaws. That beast mode bottom is just a result of changing things for the sake of changing things, and it shouldn't have been executed in such a way, not to just give the toy a waist joint that ultimately wasn't really necessary. As you can see from the robot mode, the tail ends up quite low because that entire backpack is sitting too low. That entire backpack really needed to be re-engineered and possibly given more hinges. I could have done with some of the wings being simplified, specifically that double joint, to allow this, especially the back piece, to do more and the wings to sit higher up. If that could have happened with that budget, would have been perfect. And again, I said negative through this entire thing, but what I've actually discovered through holding this and playing it with more and more, it's actually a fun transformer. In that way that old classics universe, the original Cybertron, are fun toys. It's not overly complicated, not like Hot Rod here. Hot Rod's overly complicated and it's not fun to transform. It is very much a collector grade item that being sold as a children's toy, and it really shouldn't be. This is more, I think, appropriate for children, and it's fun as a result. It feels more like a toy and less like a collectible to its benefit. It's something that can go whiz-bang between modes really quick, and I can appreciate that a lot. I'd rather have something that's simple but fun rather than complicated and frustrating. Do I think the original toy is still better? Yeah, I'm not going to point any punches. I think the original Beast Wars toy, despite the fact it doesn't have all the whiz-bang articulation in the ankles in particular, doesn't have a waist, it's got the action features causing the wings to be this massive backpack, not too dissimilar to Armada Starscream, now I think of it. A toy I also quite like that think Evolution hasn't been kind to. but I appreciate this more I handle it. I think I come out rather enjoying the toy. Anyway, I think I'd give it a 3 out of 5. It's very much middle of the road. It's got issues, but they're not so great to ruin the toy. And it's got some really good points. Again, it's fun to transform backwards and forwards. Owed a lot to that simplicity. I'd say very much in reign with Beast Wars Kingdom Optimus Primal, if that makes sense. It's got enough beats that are fun and simple and intuitive to be able to go forwards and backwards rather quickly. Anyway, if you like this video, be sure to like and comment. It helps out the channel a lot. If you want more reviews and openings like today's video, we can do that. Might be closer to the RC video now that I've done this in video form. I think the RC video might have turned out a little bit easier on me. But till next time, folks, don't hit your toys like I just accidentally did. Till next time, this has been SGD, and thanks for watching.